Welcome to Not Our Business podcast. I'm Kate.
And I'm Sydney.
Today we are talking conspiracy theories again, but we are going to be talking about conspiracy theories that are no longer theories because they have actually proven to be true.
No.
There are
I can't
facts.
believe that some of them are true.
There's evidence, all of the things. The cover-up has been uncovered, and that's what we're going to get into.
I love it. Yes. All right, so where are we going to start?
So where we'll start. So some examples of some of these theories, maybe you're familiar with, maybe you're not. Tuskegee syphilis study. What is it?
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee syphilis study.
Yeah.
This is where black men with syphilis were intentionally withheld treatment. This was from 1982 to 72. So that was a really long period of time.
People were down on that one.
Yeah, people were misled about the study and misinformed about some of the treatments that were happening. And then, like I said, black men were intentionally withheld from the treatment.
Yeah. Did you know there's a movie about it?
No.
Yeah, there's a movie. I forget what it's called, but it is a really good movie. And it kind of like shines some light on it.
I'll have to check that out. Another one is called Operation Paperclip. This was where the U.S. brought over 1,600 former Nazi scientists after World War II. A lot of them had some pretty unethical pasts. And what they did, they kept it hidden for years. But these scientists, ultimately, they were here to help advance like our NASA program.
Yeah, like they were supposed to be a part of like the science program, really trying to make us all better, by like racing to space.
Again, covered up, but later found to have actually happened. Another one, a big one, maybe more so closer to our time, the big tobacco cover-up. I don't know the actual years that this was uncovered, but
I saw that one.
Yeah, like big tobacco companies like Philip Morris International knew the effects of what smoking would do, knew the links to cancer, everything like that. They hid the research, misled a lot of their advertisements and marketing for years, denied the link to any of the diseases caused by using their products. And then it was only exposed through whistleblowers, and I think they were sued over it, and that's how the documents were released on it.
It's just so wild, like think about that. Like, that your product kills somebody. You're just like, nah, it doesn't.
Does it make you wonder about a lot of what's like GLP-1s? Are there actively cover-ups on that or things that we are using today?
I know. It makes you really question so many things. So many things. Because I'm like, okay, if they do it, this is why people are conspiracy theorists. This is why.
You think about like our food that we eat today.
You guys did approve like Red 40 or whatever.
And for what reason?
For red or red.
Like to have red dye in your hamburger to make it look bloodier? Okay, I can't go down that. You can't get me started on that kind of stuff because that can be a whole episode in and of itself.
Write that down because we definitely should go into that for sure. Yes. But all in all, I can understand why some people can really start to understand some of these conspiracy theories because there's got to be that secret plot, Everybody loves a good secret. And then people are just rejecting a lot of official evidence. They're like, no. This isn't true. Like, there's no coincidences. This all goes together. And so I can understand why a lot of people are drawn to a conspiracy because it definitely...
Especially when we're talking about like a government conspiracy, something linked to that. You think, well, the government would never hurt us. The government is here to protect us and guide us. But then conspiracy theories are uncovered to be true, such as what we are going to talk about today.
Exactly.
And it puts a little flag in your minds and plants the seed of doubt when there are questionable things.
Yeah.
Well, they did do these other things, so where's their stopping point?
Right. When does it stop?
And one of the things we are going to dive in today is, and it is one of the conspiracy theories that has been proven to be true. Not a ton of documentation on it because it has been destroyed, but it is MK Ultra.
Yeah. I'm so excited okay, like I've heard it and I've like dabbled, but like I'm tantalized. Let's get
And
on.
yes, and there's so much information out there
Yeah.
regarding MK Ultra and what happened over, I think it was over 20 years of time that they were working on these experiments. So to really condense it down into a conversation point today, I'm going to be hitting the high points of it, and within talking about MK Ultra, it is going to bleed a little bit into a couple of other experiments that have been exposed. Okay, so what is MK Ultra? You've probably all heard of it already, but it was a highly unethical operation conducted by the CIA. It began in like the early 1950s. It went into the 70s that they were doing this
Gee.
operation slash experiment. It was initiated by the CIA. And at that time, the CIA was under the direction of Alan Dulles. Where the controversy comes in is within the experiments, what they were doing to people. They would do drug testing. And when I say drug testing, they were injecting like LSD, hallucinogenics, narcotics, opioids into patients to see what they could do for mind control, to see if they could extract information, control the behavior of this patient, and they were pushing it to limits that in some cases the people died from.
So okay, I just want to make sure I'm on track here. They were taking LSD and they were testing this on patients. Who were the patients?
That is another wild part of this is it was anywhere from like psychiatric patients, it was military personnel, and it was done to people in some cases where they didn't even know that they were being experimented on.
Yikes. And it was the US government,
It was the CIA.
the CIA.
The
Okay.
CIA was conducting this operation. Some of the other things that they would do, just extreme torture to patients. So, sensory deprivation, they were put in isolation tanks. Some of the extreme environments, they were put, like, there would be a crying baby, or they would hear the same repetitive noise over and over and over again.
This
And
would
then
destroy me.
and then the sudden change in that repetitive noise would then be tried to like really affect and alter their mental state just to see what they could do with mind control.
Gross.
Keep in mind with the CIA doing this, the point of it, what are they trying to do? They're trying to really see what they can do for mind control. And it really comes down to like military or government espionage, that type of stuff. And they were experimenting on these people, and in some cases people didn't know that they were a part of it. They didn't consent to it. They did electroshock therapy.
It just keeps getting worse.
It was like actual shock waves to their head to try and cure or treat them.
First of all, it's giving disgusting behavior, and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And you know what? I think that's why I don't ever really dive into that one because it is so just inhumane. Like it just stresses me out.
And this is another one where you think, so I would imagine a lot of this happened during, you hear of medical trials today.
Yeah.
For cancer, different diseases, whatever it is, there's treatment trials for you name it, they probably have it. That I would imagine that this is where some of these patients were led into believing this was the treatment for it. Hence why people are maybe a little apprehensive of some of the things that happen in our medical field because stuff like this does come to light.
Absolutely. I think that's something that people struggle with because it's hard to trust. It's really hard to trust. And there's just some people that like blindly trust. And I'm like, you don't have any questions? Like, you're not like mildly concerned about it?
To have that level of chill, just go with the flow. Yeah, you know what you're doing. You got this. I mean, in some areas, yeah. sure, like take it off my plate, but I don't know, you're not going to shock my brain because I'm feeling a little anxious.
How did it come to fruition? How did this like get dismantled and discovered that like this was actually going on?
So
Like I know
in
the
the
whistleblowers. Like tell me the story.
Yes, so in the 70s, there were investigations into government misconduct. This was during the time of Watergate
Okay.
and the Watergate scandal. It
Makes
led to
sense.
scrutiny over agencies such as the CIA.
Hmm.
At this time, there was also a really well known case at that time. The patient was Frank Olson. He was a government scientist. He was secretly given LSD and later died because of mysterious circumstances. It was
Right.
never fully, I don't know that it was ever fully proven that it was from this, but
Hmm.
because of the scrutiny happening at this time, because of the Watergate scandal, whistleblowers then came out and released some of the information.
Hmm.
There was some documentation that they were able to release with it.
Wow.
The unfortunate part is, at that time, the director of the CIA, I'm not sure if it was still being led by the same man or not, but when it all came to light in 1973, the CIA ordered that the documentation be destroyed.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you? Like, oh,
Convenience.
here, let me give this to you.
So that's the unfortunate part. We don't really know the extent of where everything went because a lot of the documentation is gone.
Um,
Now, what is really interesting is there are current hearings happening in our government for MK Ultra and to have documentation unclassified.
wow.
So what is happening is all of the MK Ultra experiment and
Hmm.
um, operation,
Hmm.
all of those documents are destroyed. However, there is remnants of information throughout
Hmm.
other cases and throughout other government entities that it's when the information is found, it's more so stumbled upon.
Hmm.
That information is then taken and it's then classified. That is what these Senate hearings are currently being conducted to unclassify them.
Crazy. I mean, there's no coincidence. I mean, you were going through it and all of a sudden now you're in trouble. Like, what's it hidden in the dark always comes to the light, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, thankfully, the stars aligned on that one.
The point behind the operation,
Yeah.
it is valid. They are trying to kind of see, I can understand, especially in military personnel, they're
Hmm.
trying to see if their soldiers are going to break under certain
Right.
factors.
For
Um,
ethics.
in regards to MK Ultra and what's real, what is still kind of theory,
Mm-hmm.
MK Ultra was real. It was
Right.
operated by the CIA. They were doing these illegal experiments. What is still unproven or not really considered to be true at least as of today.
Hmm.
A lot of people believe that they were doing it to be like mind control assassins. Of course,
Right.
from the government seeing where they were able to push these people,
Hmm.
and the studies were being conducted towards to be able to conduct that type of
Yeah.
control over their soldiers. So again, some of the like current conspiracy still around MK Ultra,
Hmm.
don't know the full extent of it, don't know what their ultimate goal was trying to do with some of the military personnel. There are still questions. Is MK Ultra still something being, is it a program or operation
Yeah.
being like used today with social media algorithms,
Right.
trying to control, like with mind control, pulling the
Okay.
strings at people's emotions and how algorithms are created. So
Hmm.
there,
Interesting.
I've seen some people talking about how algorithms, like every fourth video is kind of like a sad, um,
Oh,
a
there's like
story.
some pattern going on where it's like happy, happy, sad, sad, happy, happy, sad, sad.
Yes, and
Okay.
after a sad is when you're probably going to see an ad because your guard's down a little bit, you're feeling
Yeah,
emotional, so you are more
absolutely.
likely to pull the trigger on a purchase on an ad when you're feeling that way versus laughing or carefree,
Yeah.
whatever. So
You
there are
know what
questions
I do
if
notice?
something like that. Oh, yeah.
What I do notice on TikTok, being like like creating now, I don't see other content. I see
Hmm.
just content for content creators and like different ads for like tripods, mics, this, that. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but like I want to see the other stuff. And
It's
like, did
funny
you
when,
experience that?
yeah, it's really funny. Brady doesn't have TikTok. He refuses. He
Yeah.
thinks it's going to
I
steal
mean,
all
I
of your
get it.
information, like all of the other apps are already
Yeah,
doing.
like
But
nothing else is.
but he still loves to see the video, so I will
Yeah.
send them to him, and then when we get in bed at night, we go through and we watch them all together, which I secretly love because I love to see the reaction, and a lot of stuff I send him is specifically to see his reaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
But after we watch what I've sent him, then we're scrolling through, and that's nighttime TikTok. So that's different than like I'm on the treadmill in the morning TikTok where I'm
Right.
laughing and it's the funny videos. So the algorithm changes, and he'll make comments sometimes. He's like, God, you're like your feed sucks tonight. There's all it's showing is ads, or it's just these
Yeah.
really long videos of get ready with me or whatever. But then it's very
Yes.
different in the morning. So yeah, I have noticed that it really does
Yeah.
change, especially from just different points in the day.
So much. And that's so insane because there that's why I feel like I can't trust a lot of things, right? Like
Hmm.
Brady's degree of trust is, that, which is fine because we all have a degree, but it's just so fascinating and like is MK Ultra going on still, but we named it something else and we just shifted it. And now we're
And it's
back.
not just TikTok either. It's
Yeah.
your Instagram feed. It's
Hmm.
scrolling through anything you scroll through on your phone. My Walmart delivery, like my grocery delivery, the suggestions that I get on there I've never bought before. How does it know that I watched 18 dragon fruit videos and now I'm fascinated about dragon fruits? But now it's on my Walmart feed. How is that happening?
That's terrible because, as a person with hyperfixation, and they're just nailing you on it, it's
Hmm.
sometimes it's hard.
I'm a
It's
prime candidate for
hard.
something like that.
Yeah.
Hyperfixation, yeah. I think about it or I dream about it and I get an email. Here's a 20% off coupon. Like, I've
I
never heard
dreamt
of this
about
site
it.
before.
I
But
love
yes,
it.
it's so true. You never know
Yeah.
how far some of these projects or operations can go with the government,
I
leading
know.
to
And that's
conspiracy
why,
theories.
and you keep finding out all the time because there's other things that you have off of this that were found out because of this.
Well, and the other part of this MK Ultra investigation that I've been
Hmm.
on. So, when talking about MK Ultra, it was believed in some of the documents that are coming up.
Hmm.
Like I said, when documents come up, it's because they're stumbled upon. It is so in one of the congressional hearings I was kind of listening to about this, they
I
believe
love that you
that
listen to the congressional hearings. I love this. I love it.
I'll go to court any day.
I love that you will. Like, get it. Yes.
I become an expert so quick
I
on any of
love
these
that.
topics. I have my notebook and I'm Googling stuff. But yes, during this congressional hearing, the senator was talking about they really do think that MK Ultra was also used as a slush fund for other programs that the CIA didn't necessarily want to take accountability for or
Right.
take the blowback on, but they were operating them. One
Like
of
it
them
wasn't
being
on their books.
it wasn't on their books. It was done through MK Ultra, through some of the funding of that. And you've probably heard there's two of them that when diving into this, you've probably heard of these two programs as well. One of them being Stargate.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one.
So also was a conspiracy at one point that is proven to be true from documentation, falls under the same scope of MK
Right.
Ultra. Stargate program was a secret US government initiative during the Cold War that investigated psychic abilities. So the
Right.
government was aware that there were individuals with these abilities.
Right.
They brought them in, and we talked about this a little bit in the dreams episode.
Yeah.
Maybe not astral projection is what they're doing, but remote viewing.
I was getting ready to say it's remote viewing, isn't it? Isn't this the one?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And so it only went on until like the mid 90s. It was found there were cases where they were oddly accurate. There would be an individual kind of remote viewing. And when we talk about remote viewing, it's like really getting in the mindset of putting yourself in a different location you've never been to, or maybe you have, whatever.
Right.
But trying to get intel on other governments. They were doing it to spy on other governments, kind of get a layout of other government bases to know what they were walking into. There were cases where they were found to be oddly specific and oddly correct.
Yeah.
There were a lot of discrepancies with what they were finding with some of these individuals. So ultimately, they claimed it ended in 1995. Who knows if it actually was.
We'll see.
But I did see a TikTok where somebody commented within one of the videos talking about this, and they said their mom, they later found out after their mom passed away, she was one of the individuals that was part of the Stargate program. She would leave. She claimed her job was one thing, but she would leave at odd hours. She'd be gone for a couple of weeks at a time, and they believe that this was something that she was a part of. There's also another program. People get them confused a lot, but this other one also does fall under the MK Ultra, and it's the GATE program, Gifted and Talented Education.
Oh, yeah.
Were you a part of this?
I love that you
I was not. I don't think I was, but were you? Do you have any recollection of like the flashcards or the hearing tests?
Nope. I wasn't a part of it, but like, I don't think that we had it. At all the schools that I went to, I don't think we had it. And so I was always interested in hearing about it because it felt like it was just my school experience, you know?
Yeah. I did get pulled from class for some extra testing, but it was because I had some severe comprehension issues. It was not because I was gifted and talented.
Did you do the hearing test?
I do remember hearing tests, but I don't think it was anything along this realm. And what they would do, there are people, like I saw people that were part of this program, they still have binders of some of the worksheets that they would do. And what this program is, they would pull kids that would be showing gifted abilities.
Yeah.
And they would be given worksheets. They were given hearing tests. There is also a lot of conspiracy around the GATE program because...
Wait, but what were the worksheets? Like, what did they have to do?
So the worksheets, that's where it gets a little bit dicey on, okay, what was the point of this program? Because you can find information. This program was actively used by a lot of schools. Students were very much a part of this. They got to keep some of these worksheets, apparently. The point of it is, and what you can find online, is that they were just trying to find advanced students to make sure that they were getting the adequate education they needed, that they were being challenged enough. A lot of these students actually ended up with military credentials, ended up in some realm of military or government positions.
Wow.
So were they grooming people with abilities into a government role? Well, and some of the worksheets were actually Morse code, and you had to encrypt, and like a puzzle, they had to complete the Morse code message.
That's crazy. Now, I do enjoy cryptograms. I enjoyed decoding those, but not because I was in a program.
Well, some of the comment on it, so it's not actually information that came out to be quote unquote confirmed.
Yeah.
But some of the individuals that were a part of this program were commenting that they were interpreting hieroglyphics and ancient, like they weren't given the ancient artifacts, but like photos of it. And can you interpret this? Do you know what this means?
Could you imagine being 8 and somebody being like, here are some hieroglyphics. Can you please go ahead and just translate that for me?
or given a Morse code document and then you look at it and you know what it says.
Like, no,
Like,
ma'am,
I don't
I
even know what I was
don't.
just learning 5 minutes ago. I can't find the actual worksheets of it, but the people that were talking about being a part of the program, they said they would do the Morse code, they would have these different shapes that they would have to interpret, and then another
Mhm.
one, there was a lot of focus on ancient Egypt. So a lot
Yeah.
of the questioning and things like that. And I guess there were different levels to it. And one of
Hmm.
the comments that I found, again, this is diving back into the conspiracy part of it,
Yeah.
but somebody commented saying they were part of the GATE program as a child, but they were told by their preceptor, or whoever it was, that they only had 3 of the 5 clairs. So the clairs
Hmm.
are clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clairaudience, clear
Hmm.
hearing, clair clairenchance,
Oh, that's clairsentient.
clairsentient, so clear
Hmm.
feeling, clair recogn clair recogn
Claircognizance.
clair recognizance, which is clear knowing, and then clair empathy, which is clear empathy. And she had 3 of the 5. She said, "Luckily, I only had 3 of the 5. Otherwise, I would have ended up on a milk carton."
Girl,
Again,
you
like I
know
said,
that
that's diving back. That's diving back into the conspiracy.
that's just wild because I'm over here thinking, I'm like, well, you know what? I wasn't super in touch with myself when I was younger because I had some other things I was going on about. I'm like, thank God, because now I've got more of them. And I just, that's wild.
Now your services are no longer needed by the US
Right?
government. So again, just to kind of summarize that, so MK Ultra was real. The Stargate program, which
Mhm.
was the remote viewing
Yes.
that they were doing,
Yeah.
real, confirmed. The GATE program of gifted and talented education, real. There are documents, there's money that you can follow to those programs. They are confirmed. Still lots of conspiracy with
Right.
them, but they are all kind of linked under the same umbrella.
But you want to know something that I find just peculiar about society, and we
You,
touched on
you
it a
know I
little
do.
bit. Okay, so many things have come out, right? Like this MK Ultra, Stargate, the Great Way Gifted program. And then, like aliens came out, that was declassified. And the amount of people, you know, there's all these things that have come out that our government has really done. And these people don't have an air of maybe I should think about this. And I'm not even talking about like political parties or anything along those lines. I'm just saying in general.
Hmm.
Like, you're not going to question the governing people at all? And then when
That's
they
where
tell you that it was true, you're still going to be like, I don't know, man. It just seems
that's
odd.
that's where I can really gauge somebody's ability to wrap their mind around what the government is actually capable of is when they're
Right.
so closed off to the government having the capability of hurting individuals.
Yeah.
There's proof all day long of
Right.
really horrific things that they've done
Right.
without regard for human life.
Absolutely. You know what I think is interesting is the fact that they can't hold both of those truths, right? They can't just for 1 second set one down and say, hey, it may not be true right now, but yes, I can recognize and accept the fact that it has in the past occurred. Like both of those could be true at the same time, but you do have to question, you
And
know?
it doesn't mean they're all out to get us by any means.
Right.
But
But
always have a little bit regard for what might actually be happening around you.
if you come to me and you say, I'm a duck, but you're really a wolf, right? And you keep doing, wolf things and saying duck things, it doesn't make you a duck, you
But
know?
if you're in a position of power, there's
Right.
something about that position.
Hmm.
People, you could say whatever you wanted and people will believe you.
And, I think it's wicked where spoiler, when Elphaba, fakes her death, and she's telling Glenda, like, no, they need somebody to hate, right? Um, so there's that part, and then the wizard is like, hey, I can tell them the truth, but they're not going to accept it. They're not going to hear it, right? Because people can only hear what they want to hear, and I think that people like a very fairy tale, and I think that what our country is founded on is very wonderful. I just think it's evolved, and we can still have those values, but in a different spirit.
Yes. Yes. I agree.
Yeah, we went down a road. I don't know how we got there, but we did, and I like it.
Did you have one that you so
I
do you have
did,
all right, let's hear it.
and it's along the same lines of kind of what we talked about. It's our government. So,
Spoiler.
spoiler. Okay, so this one is rather interesting. It happened in 1962, right around the time that Bay of Pigs had just occurred. So the Bay of Pigs was an American operation that failed really miserably and embarrassingly, where we kind of brought these Cuban refugees, and they were supposed to go back to the island and capture Fidel Castro. Couldn't say the word. Okay, so Fidel Castro. So that's the time frame that we're in. John F. Kennedy is now the president, and Fidel Castro just took over the dictator that was in power there with the Communist Party. And that was a real bummer for Americans because not only was it communist, right, and it was so close to the U.S. border, but also Latin America would do it, Russia could come in. It just wasn't good. So not only was there that, but also when communism came into play, they nationalized all of the valuable lands and the factories. So all of the wealth that the American companies were gaining profit off of because that dictator was friendly with America, we no longer were getting that cash flow. And because also Bay of Pigs was such a epic failure, they went ahead and created Operation Northwoods. And it was a false flag operation where what they would do is they would basically perform terrorist attacks. And so the plan was they were going to, yeah, it's not great.
Mm-mm.
But
I
the
haven't
good
heard of
news
this
is,
one before.
oh, really?
Bay of Pigs, is that what you said?
So Bay of Pigs is what the operation was in April of 1962. And then
Okay.
Operation Northwoods is the actual false flag operation.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm.
So what were some of the terrorist attacks that they were doing at that time? Do you know?
So what they had planned, so this was just a plan. And they never
Okay.
actually did it. So one of
Okay.
them was they were going to get a civilian airplane and they were going to remote control it, but they were going to paint it as a U.S. Air Force, and then they would be flying near the coast of Cuba and they would shoot it down. Like they would purposely make it crash. And then they
Oof.
would say that it was the Cuban government that did this. Next one, they were going to assassinate Cuban immigrants that were here on U.S. soil. They were going to sink Cuban refugees that were out at sea, and they were also going to explode a U.S. ship.
And there were documents found of these plans, I'm assuming.
Hmm. And so, because it was a proposal that was brought forth, there was lots of paperwork on it, and it actually was declassified during the JFK assassination timeframe. And so
Okay.
it didn't get declassified until 1997, along with a bunch of other assassination documentation.
Oh, wow.
And what's crazy about it is that people really didn't even know anything about it until about 2001. There was a guy, he's an investigative author, he wrote a book called Body of Secrets in 2001. And so now people started reading the book and they were like, what in the world, right? It just it
Like if
makes
that
you
had
think
been
about a couple
declassified.
different things.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was just going to say if it makes you wonder if it was declassified around this day and age with social media and investigative reporting
Hmm.
being what it is today,
Yeah.
probably would have been a bigger deal.
Yeah, I don't think that they really go out with like unicorns and candles and everything saying, hey, we declassified this today, like make a big show
Yeah.
out of it. I think the
Yep.
release date comes and it goes.
Yeah.
It's interesting though the time frame as we're talking about conspiracies. That it was declassified and became a little bit popular in April 2001, right? And then we've got September 11th that occurs.
That is fascinating.
Right. So, you can really start to see some things, a pot being stirred for conspiracy theorists, right? Kind of lay of the
Mhm.
land, like, hey, our government's already put a blueprint together before,
Yes.
It was very interesting. And, like I said, and they wonder why people have distrust and why there's so many conspiracies.
So, with that being said, is there a conspiracy that so we covered like there's evidence it's proven to be
Right.
true? Is there a conspiracy in mind for you that's it's still quote unquote considered a conspiracy, but in your mind it is absolutely without a doubt true, at least to a certain extent?
Yes. So my probability meter. There's not a hill I'll die on, but there's a probability. And my first one is 9/11. That we potentially could find out that it was the call was coming from inside the house, right?
Hmm.
You know, I think that one has a high probability that they had some kind of a hand somewhere in there, you know.
I think that one might deserve its own episode.
I do, I'm interested. I want to explore it. I want to understand it.
I think we could definitely get into the weeds for at least an hour on
Hmm.
yes, the conspiracy, what actually happened, what are the facts.
Yeah.
Here are some theories and there's a lot of in between of that.
Hmm.
So, like circumstantial evidence, people that would typically be in that building that were
Yeah.
magically not.
Right.
Um, there's so many things that we could dive into with that.
For sure. What was yours? What was one of yours?
I honestly, all of them. I think, and I'm saying this seriously,
I love it.
I think that maybe not 100%. I think a good portion of conspiracy theories out there are based in some variation of truth.
Hmm.
Does it get wild? Absolutely.
For sure.
But the more you start to pull strings within certain theories, the more you realize the connection. Like, what did aliens have to do with whatever else? There's
Right.
a link. There's a link somewhere.
Right.
And I think that a lot of theories are based in a little bit of truth. A
Right.
hill I will die on that I think we in our lifetime will see. It's not going to be maybe not a headline of like here's some documents
Hmm.
released and it's proven this theory to be true. I believe the Illuminati.
Hmm.
Maybe is that the name of them? I don't know. I do believe that there is an elite group
Right.
running the world. And the
Yeah.
more we get into what our life looks like, I think the two-party system within politics is made to cause division.
Yes.
And I, it's gonna, I probably sound like I'm really all over the place here, but going back to like it's all connected. I
Yeah.
think that there's a
Absolutely.
new the conspiracy about like the new world order and the Illuminati and
Hmm.
the elite people running everything. I
Yeah.
think it's all connected and I think we are going to see something play out in our lifetime where there's going to be enough division where there's going to be some sort of order takeover.
Yeah.
And why I think that that is something we'll see in our lifetime is because it in our news today. I
Yeah.
don't watch the news, but I know what's kind of happening within our government
Right.
and with the US combining military forces with Israel. I think that was when we were talking about this and I had to pick a topic. I'm like, well, it's in my mind, it's playing out right in front of us as we speak.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I think they're very difficult times, and I think there will be whatever you want to call that, order or a coup or a different regime, government, whatever word we're going to use. I do
Hmm.
agree that within our lifetime, we will see a shift. I'm just hoping that the shift that we see, if it's, something bad, it's a brief something bad, and then we can
Yeah.
finally come together and just start like rebuilding a better
Yeah.
place.
Yes, I agree. And that was the one that I kept coming back to. If there was one that I think is like a hill I would probably die on,
Mhm.
it would be that.
Yeah.
But there are theories that I would give anything. I don't know anything about them or like the
Right.
all of the facts about it. I would give anything to know all of the facts and details about Antarctica.
Right? I agree.
I think that if we knew everything there was to know about Antarctica, I think so many questions would be answered. It has been a lot of fun diving into this and talking about it. Let us know if you were a gate kid. We want to hear it in the comments. Let us know your experience.
Yes, let us know.
If you've been following along with the congressional hearings, let us know what you're thinking of that or any information that you're finding that we didn't cover. We want to know about it.
Tell Caitlin which one she needs to listen to next.
Send me down my next rabbit hole. I've got time.
Absolutely.
I've got nothing but time. But anyways, at this point that you guys are hearing this episode, we have now released a handful of episodes. It has been so incredibly fun putting these together. We are learning as we go. We're fixing the hiccups as we come across them. But thank you for following. Thank you for the feedback. Thanks for the comments and the likes and everything. Sharing our episodes. Please continue to do that. And we are so excited for some upcoming topics. We're going to do some more true crime. Sydney is a huge history buff, so she wants to get into some lesser known history things that I am so excited to hear about. We will see you guys next week. Make sure you are following on all platforms, Instagram, Apple, Spotify, YouTube when we have video episodes. There is just one episode where it is audio only and you can only listen on Apple or Spotify, but make sure you're following along. Give us your feedback and we Oh yeah, we are on TikTok and we're actually creating content, so come interact with us there.